All right, so we're going to continue reviewing for the STAR. I'm starting on question number 32. So question number 32 says the table shows the amount of pet food and cups remaining in the automatic feeder as the function of number of meals that the feeder dispensed. And we want to know which model does this represent the situation. Now, if I look at all my answer choices, these are all linear questions in the form of y is equal to mx plus b. So the first thing I need to do is identify my slope. So I'm going to pick 2 points. Doesn't matter any 2 points. I'm going to pick these two. This is my y value. This here is my y, f of n. That's your y value. That's the same thing as n. So I'm going to say 3 minus 6 over 7 minus 6. 3 minus 6 gives me negative 3. Excuse me. And then over 7 minus 6 gives me 1. So our slope is going to be 3, negative 3. So that's going to eliminate G, and that's going to eliminate J. They have a slope of negative 1/3. Be careful, that would negative 1/3 would be if you switched your X and your Y. Okay. Now I need to determine basically my y-intercept. I can do this a couple of ways. Your y-intercept is when the y value, the x value is equal to 0. So I have 1, 3, 6, 7. I could take 21 and I could go add 3 units to it. If I take 21 and add 3, that would give me, because if I go backwards, think about if I'm going, okay, well, if this is 1, that means the value before would be 0, talking about my terms of the graph. And each one of these, 21 minus 3 gives me 15, 15. There's a value skipped here. There are a couple of them because we got 3, 6, 7. That means there's some points that are in between these two that are skipped. But if you look at 6 and 3, 6, we subtracted 3 from that to get the next value. So I can look at 21 and go to 0, okay? And actually, there's a value in between here. There's 2. We're missing 2. We're missing 2. I can go to 21, add 3 to that because we're going backwards. So instead of subtracting 3, I'm going to add 3. So that would give me the 24. So that would give me my answer F. Now, if you didn't understand that, I recommend that you use point slope form, which is y minus y1 is equal to m times, actually, hold on, take that back. Since we're looking for the b, we're looking for the y-intercept, I would use y is equal to negative 3x plus b, and then use any one of these points. I'm going to use that point, plug it in for x and y. So this is going to be 7 is equal to negative 3 times 3 plus b. Solve for b. So this is going to give me 7 is equal to negative 9 plus b. We're going to add 9 to both sides. 7 plus 9 gives me 16. Hold on, that did not work. What did I do wrong? X. Oh, I switched. That's what I did wrong. I switched. That should have been, I switched my X and my Y. This should have been 3 here, and this should have been 7 here. That would make a big difference. So this is going to be 3 is equal to negative 21 plus b. We're going to add 21. That gives me b is equal to 24. So that lets me know that that is the correct answer. All right, number 33. The graph of the function f of x is equal to x squared. That's a reminder, that's your parent function. Was transformed to create the graph g of x, f of x minus 9. Which statement of the graphs is true? That means the only thing that we did was we shifted the graph. It's outside the parentheses. Anything outside the parentheses means we have a vertical shift. A says reflection. Nope, we don't have a reflection. B says the vertex of the graph is 9 units to the right. Nope, we're not shifting to the right or the left. That means that would have to be inside the parentheses, so that's out. C says reflection. Again, that's out. So by default, our answer has to be D. But let's look. The intercept of the graph is 9 units below the y-intercept. Yes, that is correct. We shifted the graph 9 units down because it's outside the parentheses and it's minus 9. Think about vertex form. Y is equal to A, x minus h plus k. If this is not changed, if it's still f of x, then the only thing that we've done is we've shifted it up or down vertically. We've changed the vertex up or down, okay? Number 32. The expression is given here, and it's equivalent to xp. We want to know what is the value of x, what is the value of p? Okay, so we've got a couple of things happen. We've got product rule and power rule. I'm going to deal with the power rule first. So this is going to be x to the 22 times x to the 7 times 3 is 21. Now this is going to give me x to the 22 plus 21, which gives me 43. So P is going to be equal to 43. That's your exponent. That's all you're doing on that one. That's really easy. Number 34 or 35, the graph of the linear passes through these 2 points. What must be true? Okay, so we've got slope, we've got point through that point, we've got the 0, and we've got the x-intercept. So we need to go ahead and graph this. So I need to find my slope. So my slope, I'm going to do 8 minus 0 over, actually, one of the questions says x, the 0 of k is 7. That is not correct. It would be negative 7 for the 0, so we can eliminate C. Because it says negative 7, 0. That means that we do have a point right here at negative 7, 0. That is the x-intercept. It is negative 7. So that we have eliminated C. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. And then I have 8 minus 0. Then I have 1 plus 7, which is going to give me 8 over 8, which gives me a slope of 1. So that's going to eliminate A because that has a slope of negative 4/3. All right. This says the x-intercept of the graph of K is negative 7. That looks pretty good. But let's check. Negative 1, negative 8 is way down here. Now think about if we have from this point negative 0, that means I can rise up 1, go right 1, rise up 1, go right 1, go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. I'm never going to go through that point, negative 1, 8. So that eliminates it. So yes, we were correct in our assumption that the x-intercept is negative 7. We're good to go. Number 36, which expression is equivalent to 210d squared minus 63d? All right, I'm going to use my answer choices. Think about this. I know I'm going to take out a d of both of these because d is present in both terms. All right, so that's going to eliminate h, and that's going to eliminate j because they didn't take out d. Both f and g have 21d as my coefficient, okay? Well, 21d divided by 200 or 210d squared divided by 21d would give me 10d. There's minus, and I did not take out a minus, so that means that minus is still there, and that's going to give me 3. So that's my answer choice F. Number 37, what is the value of x? So all we're going to do is we're going to take that and substitute it in for y. So there's going to be 3x minus 5 times negative 5x plus 32. And that's going to be equal to 22. We're going to distribute and combine like terms. That gives me 3x plus 25x minus 5 times 32 gives me 160. It's equal to 22. Combine like terms. 3 plus 25 gives me 28x. I'm going to add 160 to both sides. That gives me 160 plus 22, which gives me 182. We're going to divide by 28. That gives me x is equal to 6.5, which is our answer choice C. We can also double check by plugging it in for x and making sure that both match. Number 38, which graph best represents y is equal to 10 times 0.85x? This is an exponential function. Y is equal to a times b to the power of x. Remember that A value is your initial value. That's your X or your Y intercept. So I'm going to look at these that have a Y intercept of 10. This one has 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 a Y intercept. I'm not sure on that one, 100% sure. Okay, so now I need to think, is this a degrowth or decay? This is 0.85, that is decay, that's less than 1. So that lets me know that's going to eliminate F, and that's going to eliminate H. All right, now I'm going to try to figure out which one of these two are going to be closest to my answer choice. I'm going to go ahead and use my handy dandy calculator. We're going to go to Y equals. I'm going to go 10 and then parentheses. I'm going to do 0.85 parentheses power X. And we're going to go to second graph. The reason I'm going to go to second graph is I'm going to look at some of these coordinate points given to me on the graph. Now, if I notice right here, 10, so 10, 2, that's a nice integer. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to see if 10, 2 is on my graph. Nope, it's not on my graph. All right, well, we've got, let's see if I can find another one. That's the only one. Let's double check. Let me see. If I plug in 10 for X, so if I say 10 times 0.85 to the power of 10, will that give me 2? Because it has a nice, that's nice. That's a nice even integer right there. It's 2. I'm going to clear this. 10, it should give me 0.1997. So let's see. So 10 times, and then parentheses, 10.85 to the power of 10. That gives me 1.96. So by default, it's going to have to be J. Let's check. Let's look at the graph. Now, I'm going to change my window a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go to second table. Table. The X minimum, it has -4. I'm going to use this minus down here. The X max is going to be 14. The Y minimum is going to be -4. And then the Y max, it's -4. And then the Y max is going to be also 14. Let's graph. Oh, no, actually, that one looks more closely to what our graph is. So they're probably doing some rounding there. It might actually just look like it's really close. So G has to be our answer choice. Because J is too, in terms of the window that we're looking at, it's too much of a steep of a curve. Let's see if I can get a couple of more questions in so we have a nice even number. All right, question number 39. The table shows a linear relationship between X and Y. What is the rate of change with respect to X? So we're looking for the slope. All right, so I'm going to pick 2 points. 60 minus 96 over -12 plus 20. So 60 minus 96 gives me -36. -12 plus 20 gives me 8. -36 divided by 8 gives me -4.5. Math, enter. Enter will give me the fraction. So m is equal to 9/2, which is our answer choice A. And then 40, we'll go ahead and start that one on the next video. I will see you then.